All right, so the main thing for this unit is multiplying polynomials by monomials or binomials or trinomials. It's multiplication. That's our main goal for this unit. So you're going to get a lot of questions that look like this, where there's something we're multiplying by a bunch of stuff in brackets. Okay? Some of the harder questions look like this, but basically it boils down to multiplying a thing by a different thing. And in general, it's going to be polynomials instead of just like 3 times 4. It's not that complicated. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. So, just starting with the basics, this question here, 2 times 2x plus 1, I want to rewrite it. If I write 2x, we're basically saying 2 times this mystery number. Now, instead of calling it x, we're instead going to say it's 2 times this stuff. So basically, everything in this bracket is going to get multiplied by 2. So the way that we can think of this is really, I'm going, okay, 2 times 2x plus 2 times 1. I'm doing 2 times the first thing, which was there, and 2 times the second term, which is there. I don't recommend writing it this way, because a lot of students will actually mess up the plus minus sign stuff going on there. So I'm going to show you an easier way that I like. All you do is what I call rainbows. So you take whatever is the coefficient, the thing you're multiplying, and you draw a little arrow to the first term. So that tells you, okay, I have to do 2 times, and we know what to multiply because there's a bracket, 2 times 2x. So 2 times 2x is 4x. Okay, then I go back and I do another rainbow to the next one, and I say, okay, now I have to do 2 times positive 1. Well, that's 2, and you're done. The reason I call it rainbows is because this kind of looks like rainbows. Some people call it crab claw or grabbies, whatever you want to call it. The fancy math word is distributive property. And this is the idea that the coefficient, this 2, is distributed to all the stuff, all the terms inside the brackets. Okay? That's how it works. That's it. Let's try a different one. Here, let's zoom out so we can still see. So I'm going to say I got negative 3. I'm going to multiply it by x. That gives me negative 3x. Then I'm going to hit negative 3 and multiply it by negative 1. So negative times negative gives me positive. I'm done. These questions don't take a lot of time. I am going to show you another way to visualize it. That's using algebra tiles. So let's flip back to this first one. When you do algebra tiles, if we're doing multiplication, we're going to say whatever is here is multiplied by whatever is here. And the answer will go in this box in the bottom. So the first one was 2, so I'm going to draw my little 2's. They're positive, so they're colored in. That's the 2 right there. Okay, it went down there. Now, the 2x plus 1, I'm going to draw my 2 x's and my 1. And again, they're all going to be colored in. Okay, now what you do is you go across for each item that you've drawn in this left side. So I'm going to say, okay, I got to do 1 times x. And whatever goes in that box is the answer. So 1 times x is, well, 1x. And I draw it the same way. If you drew it this way, it wouldn't make any sense because it doesn't like fit the pattern. So I draw there 1x. Then again, I go across. 1 times x gives me 1x. 1 times 1 gives me 1. Same thing over here. 1 times x. 1 times x, 1 times 1, and now we just look at what was in this. This is the final answer. We have 4x's plus 2, which was the same answer we got before. Again, I don't recommend doing this for a lot of questions because it takes a long time, but it's a good way to visualize. When you do it over here, it works the same way. We have negative 3, which are going to be white squares, and then we had x minus 1. So let's do negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. And again, that's going to repeat. And again. And that's it. So my answer is going to be, negative 3x, because I have 3 white x's, plus 1. Okay. So that's it. That's the answer. Oh, sorry, plus 3. Sorry, there are 3 ones there. My bad. That's the basics. Now what I'm going to show you is the stuff we're going to do in the future lessons, but really it's an extension, so I'm not going to make a different video. These 2 questions. They are the hard versions, but they work the same way. So what we're doing here is instead of just being like, oh, 2 times 3x minus 4, we're actually going to do a binomial. So what this means is everything in this first bracket is multiplied by everything in that second bracket. So this is actually going to take a couple steps. So first, we take, let's just pretend the plus 1 isn't there. Okay, so it's just 2x. So really, we're doing 2x times 3x minus 4. We know how to do that. We do the rainbows, so we get 6x squared. Is x times x is x squared. And then we get negative 8x. Cool. Then we're going to do the plus 1 times the second thing. So that's going to be 1 times 3x minus 4. You know what? Let's do this different color. Okay, so that's going to give me 3x minus 4. And now what we're going to do is these two are going to go together, and they're going to add together. This is a confusing way to look at it, so I want to do it a little different. I'm instead going to say, I'm going to do the rainbows again. So I just take that first term and distribute it. So 2x times 3x gives me 6x squared. And then I do this. 2x times negative 4 gives me negative 8x. Now, I'm going to go to the second term, and I like to draw the rainbows underneath, like evil rainbows. Okay, plus 3x, and then distribute it again, minus 4. Now, you have your final answer. The only thing is usually you'll have to collect like terms. As you can notice, these two collect and go together. So I'm going to have 6x squared minus 5x minus 4, and that's your final answer. When we get to harder questions like this, it works the same way. This first term is going to multiply by these 3. The second term is going to multiply by these 3. We could do it with more. It could be like 10 terms each. It just would take a long time, but it's not really complicated. So 2x times 2x squared, 4x cubed. Remember, there's a 1 there, so 1, 2, it adds up to 3. These multiply to give me 6x, and I know it's plus because it was positive, positive. 2x times negative 5, negative 10x. I'm going to have to move over a bit. And then let's do these in red so we can see. Okay. Oh well. This could be plus 2x squared plus 3x, and then minus 5. So again, I'm going to have to collect stuff so I can see, oh, this and this have to go together. So it's going to be 6. Oh, sorry. Those don't go together because there's a cubed and a squared. So just 4x cubed, and then plus 2x squared. And I like to actually cross out the stuff as I go so I don't miss it. And then these 3 can all go together. That's going to give me negative 1x. Yep, cross them out. And then I just have the negative 5, and no more like terms to collect. That's it. So that's the basics of this unit. I really recommend using this method, the rainbows, the distributive property, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it doesn't get any harder. You just get more terms. The same process is happening. And that's it.